Suntem live. We are live on YouTube with my amazing Romanian guest. We are starting in just a few moments, just making sure that everything is working properly. I should sit around here just to make sure that my guest is looking right here. Okay. And if you are ready, Nina, we are going to start the actual recording. Great. Starting in 3, 2, and 1. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode number 28 with a fellow Romanian. I am so proud today. I'm very privileged and honored to see that this beautiful businesswoman that is so inspiring to me is also a mom. She is building an international business and is here to teach us about visibility and first impressions. I'm only going to say a few words about Nina because she did send me this wonderful biography. But you know by now that she's going to do the main talking. So here it is, just so you can have an idea of how wonderful she is. Nina Macarie is a visibility expert featured in online outlets as Quotable Magazine, Feminist, Entrepreneurs Magazine, and Media. She is helping female entrepreneurs to get more visibility and connect with dream clients through podcast interviews. She is the creator of the P.I.T.C.H podcasts framework, helping clients pitch themselves to the right podcasts with ease and confidence in an authentic way. Nina, I'm loving what you are doing here. Welcome and thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Roxana, so much for having me on your podcast. It's such an honor and a pleasure to chat with you today.
I am beyond grateful to see that a Romanian is shining their value and all their talent so that people can really connect through this magnificent world of podcasts. Is it COVID or is it just the modern world? But we truly like to learn through podcasts. So, can you please tell us, my dear, how did you begin this beautiful story with helping entrepreneurs shine through podcasts? What's your story behind your business?
Thank you, Roxana, for giving me the opportunity to share more about my business and the work that I do. So, to be honest, it was an accident that I became an entrepreneur. Actually, when I was in high school, my dream was to work for the European Union. And this was like an incredible dream because back then Romania was not even part of the European Union. But still, for me, that wasn't important. I just knew that I wanted to work there because I loved learning foreign languages. And I thought that I'm going to love working in an international environment. And this is why I got a degree in European Studies. And then I studied for my master's degree in Madrid in public administration. I worked for the government in Romania. And then while I was there, I was applying for internships at the European Union. And finally, I got one for 5 months. I lived in Brussels and I really loved the experience. But at the same time, I was 29 back then when I did the internship, and I was married for 4 years with an amazing husband and supporting husband and partner. And he always encouraged me to follow my dreams, even if that meant that sometimes we lived in different cities, different countries. He was always there for me, supporting my big dreams. And while I was in Brussels doing these internships, some of my colleagues were applying for temporary jobs, but I was so not willing. It was this desire that I was ready to become a mom. So I thought that I will just come back. I will have the kids and then we will see. So 2 years later, we had our son, and another 2 years later, we had our daughter. So I feel so blessed having these two kids. They are such a joy. And I was a stay-at-home mom for more than 5 years because I really loved being there for them. And after 5 years, like they were going to the daycare, and I had this time, but I had no idea what to do because I was so focused on raising them. I didn't took time to focus on a hobby, on something that I might like, and somehow I felt a little bit not knowing what to do. I was unsure who I was, what I could do, because I could do everything I wanted, but I had no idea what I wanted to do next. So I started, I started working with a coach, and she encouraged me to just take some opportunities and see how it goes. So this is how I started working for an NGO. I really loved it, but somehow the relationship with the owner didn't work. And then I worked with a German consultant. I was helping him for a limited project. I really loved that work. But then he didn't get the funds that he needed for implementing the project. So I had to stop doing that kind of work. And then a friend of mine had a jewelry store, an offline jewelry store, and she asked me if I could help her promote her products in the online space. So I started working with her, just taking pictures and posting on Instagram and Facebook. And now I realized that I did all the wrong things because I was only posting just by this, by that. I have no idea what ideal client is, and the avatar and all the things that I only learned later. But it was an experience. It was a starting point for me. And while I was doing that, it was like a nice place to work. The girls were nice, but somehow I was feeling, is that it? I mean, isn't there something that truly could light me up? Because I wasn't feeling that. And suddenly my husband lost his job. So he was actually the main income provider. And after a few months, we've decided that we are going to move across the country for his new job. And since we were starting fresh, I thought that I was going to get a job, like the normal 9 to 5, and I will work there, and then we'll see what's going to happen. This is what I did. I was working as a customer representative, and I don't know how I got this idea because I only worked there for 9 days. On the 9th day, I quit that job because I got this idea that I could help other moms who maybe were a little bit more courageous and already started a business working from home. I got this idea that I would like to work from home because I wanted more flexibility. I wanted to own my time.
Wow.
So literally after I quit, I remember that it was during lunch break, and I went home and I googled work from home jobs. I googled in English because I thought that I am going to find more opportunities, because I did this before, but I did it in Romanian and I only found like crazy jobs. I don't know, you had to, I don't know, just do crazy things, and it wasn't for me. I really wanted something that it's like a true job, a true work, but also it's going to, as I mentioned, light me up, because I think it's so important to do something that you really, really love. And I found a few Facebook groups, and they were about social media managers, how to become a social media manager. And actually, this was the first thing that I did. I connected with another Romanian girl that was a fitness, I think she still is a fitness trainer, but she was living abroad, she was traveling the world, and she was selling her fitness programs. But again, I had to be there in her Facebook group, in her Facebook, on her Facebook page, and post there every day. And still, I felt this is not my calling. And in the meantime, I found out that I could become a virtual assistant. So having the admin background, like drafting reports and Excels and all the things, I thought that I am going to be good at it and that I could do it. But guess what? This is not enough. I mean, being able to do something and actually doing the thing for a client or for more clients, it's just not the same thing. I mean, I was so frustrated when I was seeing job opportunities posted in Facebook groups, and then all of a sudden they were like 50 comments. Everyone was willing to do the work, and my question was, well, okay, I'm also willing to do the work, but how am I going to stand out? I had no idea what to do. But anyway, all the money that I was making, I was investing in courses. I was buying one course after the other, thinking that this is going to be the thing that I'm going to do. And I was lucky because my husband was supporting us until I found this true calling. Because when you start an online business, sometimes you don't know exactly what to do, and you don't know what opportunities are out there. Like, there are so many amazing things that you could do, but you have to focus on the right thing based on your skills, based on your experience, based on your personality. So I had this year of testing and experimenting until I found a course. Actually, I saw a master class. I was watching the video, and at the end of the video, they were promoting this program on how to pitch podcasts. And finally, that time, I posted in that Facebook group, and I have to admit that I needed a lot of courage to post in that Facebook group that I was willing to barter my services in exchange for that course. I was afraid because, number one, rejection, right? Like, what if no one is going to respond to my post? Or what if they are going to respond, but they are going to think that I'm not good enough? But I did it anyway. I did it because I loved that idea. And this course was special because it had two parts, one for the virtual assistant and one for the client. And finally, someone said yes she said, yeah, let's do a trial. Let's see how it's going to work. And she is such an amazing person. She is actually a triplet mom, and she was doing all the things. Yes, indeed. I mean, she had 3 kids, she has a coaching business, she has a podcast, and she has such an amazing personality. And she is such a lovely customer and client, and now she's a dear friend of mine. And I started working with her, and she referred me to another person, and I started working with the second client. And all of a sudden, I felt that now I have this experience that I was looking for. Because before that, when I was taking those courses, I wasn't trusting myself that I could do the work because I felt that I'm lacking that experience that clients are going to need. But sometimes clients, maybe they don't have the budget and they are willing to barter. But I thought in my mind, all these clients only want someone with experience. And this kept me stuck. But on the other hand, this led me to taking this course and working with these clients, because maybe if I would have found something else before this teaching course, maybe, I don't know, the journey would have been different. But I think I was meant to do this work, and this is why it took me a year to find it, but I was there. And this is how I started teaching clients podcasts.
What a story, Nina. Thank you so much for sharing this with us. It's very inspiring, and I have so many questions now. You said so many amazing, inspiring things. Can you please share with us how do you mingle mom life of 2 children with your business that is constantly growing and you have a new program starting soon? Can you please tell us what is the secret ingredient to keeping it all together?
I don't think there is a secret. I think we all have to do what feels good for us, because maybe what's good to me, it's not going to feel good to you, because we are also different. And about this work that I do, I love it because it allows me to do it on my own time. I mean, I can set my hours, my working hours, even if most of my clients are in the US. But the best part is that I don't do a lot of calls with my clients. Of course, we have that initial call when we are going through all the pieces that I'm going to need in order to do the work. But other than that, we can communicate via email. So, I can work in the morning, and actually, this is what I do. When my kids are going to school, I do most of my work because I'm home alone, and I can focus on that work, and then I will do the research, I will draft the pitch emails, and I will schedule those emails to go out in the evening when it's morning in the US. So I do the work, yes, on my own terms, and still we can get the results because, people will get back to me whenever they can, and then again, I will reply during my working hours.
I would say that you are very organized. Besides loving what you do, is this what truly drives you, Nina? Being very much authentic with the work that you do and loving it fully?
Yes, indeed, I am organized. I don't think that I could do this work if I wouldn't be organized because there are so many details that I need to keep track of. And if you are not organized, you can't do it because I have several clients, and when people are getting back to me, they are telling me, get back to us in a week, in a month, in 3 months, send me this, send me that. So if I'm not organized, it's impossible to remember all the things. But I have created a system that helps me do the work. And what drives me is helping these mompreneurs because this is how I started. Like when I started, I found a lot of Facebook groups for mompreneurs. And this is where I found my clients. And I really love supporting them, as you mentioned, like building this life where you can do something that you love, but you can also take care of your kids and maybe do other things that you like. Maybe you have another passion project, a hobby. And it's so important for you to take care of your soul and to do all the things.
Thank you for mentioning this, taking care of our souls. And I'm so grateful that you shared your journey, saying that at the beginning it was a bit difficult to see who you are, who is Nina behind her role as a mother, that we both know it takes a lot of time and resources and energy. Because in my case, it was pretty much the same. It was difficult at first to kind of get back on track because I had started my business before having my baby. And then I had to take a break, obviously, and then going back into that momentum. And actually, saying going back may not be the best approach since we had this updated, better version of us since we get to be mothers as well. I wanted to ask you, Nina, how was your journey with fear in this whole process from moving from one place to another, quitting your job, starting to work on your own, finding your journey? How was it?
I I think I'm a pretty adaptable person, so moving places was not an issue for me. What was an issue for me was trusting myself after being a stay-at-home mom for those 5 years. Because I don't know, like my whole world back then were only the kids. I didn't have too many adult conversations. And somehow this, I feel this reflected on my skills. And this is why I wasn't ready to, I don't know, just to jump into this online business and, just do it. But I knew that this is going to be the way. And I knew that I have to have patience. Indeed, I was afraid, but I was willing to make it work. And also, my fears are based on my personality because I'm an introvert. Also, we are not English native speakers, and this was another fear that kept me stuck. And what else? Like, I don't know, when I was in kindergarten, I remember that we had this performance and I forgot my lines and I started to cry. And then somehow, when we had as kids, we had the opportunity to put ourselves on a stage. I wasn't. This wasn't for me. Like, even when I started my business, my idea, my intention was only to work behind the scenes because it was there where I felt comfortable. But then while I was doing the work, I realized that actually I want to make a bigger impact and I want to help more people. And along the journey, you find a lot of people that you resonate with, and you find mentors that can help you. And I think one important moment for me was being part of a challenge. I'm not sure about you, but I took a lot of challenges. I mean, these 3 5 day challenges that people selling courses and programs are running. And this one was so important because it was called Fearless Challenge. And it was then when I made the decision and actually I committed that I'm going to put myself out there, that I'm going to be more visible, even if I was scared. Until then, I think I only went live a couple of times, but I was scared. But even this part with, going live and putting yourself out there is, it's not going to work for you if you don't have a plan. When you have a plan, when you know what you are going to talk about, when you know what is your message, what is your mission, why you want to do this, then I know you can do it so much easily. Even if you are afraid, you are going to do it because your purpose is more important than those fears.
What a beautiful message, Nina. This is so inspiring. Your purpose is more important than your fears. I see it took a lot of perseverance and building up courage on your side to just go for it, test it out, learn the lessons, and see what you can do better next time. And I have to admire that you have this great personality feature where you are now in the spotlight as my guest, since you usually are the one helping your clients pitch podcasts. And this is a great thing to do when you want to become the best version of yourself. And I can see this in you that you want to serve more than anything. This is highly appreciated. And I wanted to ask you, since you have a lot of experience with virtual assistants and you get to be in contact with so many people, what is the advice that you would give to a mompreneur that is at the beginning of their journey, that wants to do a lot, but maybe they don't have the support that you and I had from our families, from our husbands? What would you advise that they do first?
So I would advise them to take a look at their skills, at their previous experience, and start from there. Also, you have to give yourself some time to do it. Because sometimes it's not going to work as you thought. Sometimes, I don't know, unexpected things will happen. And you have to have compassion for yourself. You have to be understanding. But you must know what you want, even if somehow maybe you don't know exactly how are you going to get there. I mean, if you don't keep in your mind the final destination, then I don't know if it's going to work. I think this is important to know what you want. And yes, sometimes you will have to jump on calls with people, asking, just having conversation. I think this is the thing that actually helped me refine my message. Because when I decided that, yes, I'm going to be more visible, I started with small steps. And what I did was to jump on virtual coffee chats with people and networking events. events, online networking events. And it was then when I was, just talking about the work that I did, how I started. This is how you are actually going to refine your message. And this is how you are going to see if, yes, people are going to need your services or maybe not, or maybe you have to tweak something. So you have to start small. You don't have to, I don't know, like do a Facebook Live every single day when you don't actually know what service are you going to sell. So that would be my advice, to start small and see what works for you.
This is great advice, Nina, because secretly we would all want to be successful and with a clear mind overnight, but we know that this cannot happen. And overnight success, this great concept, and let me tell you why I call it great, because part of my story was to think that if I only post online and show up, I will be the biggest hit of them all. It's so much more work than it beats the eye. Social media is very complex, but it makes you become better and better. It makes you find your unique point. And as you said, you wanted to stand out in those Facebook groups. And this kept you going and searching and looking and trying out things. And this is the best advice ever. Test it out and know that it takes time. Valuable things do take time to be created. And if we are talking about value, Nina, please tell us about your program. How do you help people through your great, amazing mission in your business? And what's next for you? What can we expect?
Thank you so much, Roxana. Actually, it's the first time I'm mentioning this, and I'm still cooking this program because I am aware that not all people could invest in someone to help them do this for them. But I think that I could help them do those first steps because, like when you are doing your work, you are focused on your thing and you can't, and maybe you don't have the time to Google, to go on YouTube and watch all the videos because this is going to take a lot of time. Maybe you just want a roadmap from someone that already did the thing. They could, show you like the main steps that you could take and adjust them so that they would work for you. So this is why I thought that a lot of people need, not a lot of people need to get visible in order to grow their businesses. And this is why I thought that I could teach them based on my framework. I could teach them how to land podcast interviews, and they could actually even expand this framework to other opportunities because these days there are so many things out there, like YouTube lives, being a guest in a private Facebook group or in a course, in a program. So there are so many things that you can do. But you need to start small and you need to start based on where you are at in your journey, right? Because someone who maybe you just started your online business, but you have a lot of previous experience in the offline world, but you can apply it and you can grow your business so much faster than someone who is only starting an online business, but in a industry where they are new to it, right? So this program is going to be a 4-week program, and I'm going to walk these students through the 5 steps of my framework. So we are going to see what their message is and all the details that they should have in place before pitching themselves. Then I'm going to help them find those podcasts, because there are so many ways that you can research for podcasts and all other opportunities where you could start collaborations. I'm going to teach them my way of pitching, and I'm seeing a lot of pitches where people are just bragging and promote themselves. But for me, a pitch is a place where you start a conversation. So I feel that this is what I'm doing differently than other people's. And then I'm going to show them how to get organized so they can keep track of all the things that I've mentioned, like you need a place where you are going to keep all the details, and when you pitch and when are you going to follow up, and the other details that you are going to send to the host. And then finally, I have some tips and tricks on how to be a great guest and how to fill out submission forms, because if you want to do this consistently, then yes, you have to allot some time to do it. And you will see that some podcast hosts will send you questionnaires, and I will, teach them my approach and based on my experience.
Wow, you are putting together, still baking it, this wonderful marketing tool. This is a complete full marketing tool for anyone that wants to be more visible through podcasts. And as Nina says, even more, you can use this with some other types of media creation sessions. And indeed, being a podcast guest and a podcast host does involve many details. Cut overwhelm and release yourself from all the stress of organizing it all and come to Nina. She is going to be your helping hand, your guide in this beautiful journey, because indeed, podcasts are very listened to, as I mentioned at the beginning of our talk. We are mostly online and we need to make the best out of it. Nina, before we go, can you please tell us where can our audience and our viewers on YouTube can get in touch with you? Because I know that by now they are very curious to at least have one talk with you.
So the best place where you can find me is on Instagram. You can find me at Nina_Macarie. This is Macarie. Or you can visit my website, oneluckystar.com, and then you can see there the details of my work.
I love it. Please tell us in a few words, why did you choose this great name, One Lucky Star, for your website?
Because when I was in high school, I loved in the summer nights, I was sitting in my backyard just watching the sky and the stars. And somehow I felt that I want to be someone's lucky star, and I want to help them shine. And this is why I choose this name.
Thank you for mentioning this and thank you for inspiring us. I know that I have learned so much from you and I'm very grateful, Nina. This is such a pleasure to seeing a Romanian businesswoman growing and inspiring and helping people. I am so proud right now. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate.
Thank you, Roxanne. It's my pleasure and my absolute honor. And I thank you so much for inviting me on your podcast. You are such an amazing host. And I feel that people can so easily have flowing, nice conversation with you. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure, Nina. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
I thank you, Roxana.
And we are saying goodbye to our YouTube friends. Okay. She